Everybody, and welcome to the weekly wisdom call. My name is Alexander Hamilton Dunlop. I'll give you my full name this week. And this week we are all playing the energy that's represented by the Ace of Clubs. And we're talking about the energy that's present based on this ordinary deck of playing cards. It's actually the ancient Book of Life that was hidden in plain sight. And by reading this book, we understand how to be in harmony with life itself, to attune ourselves to the vibrations that are present in the quantum field all around us. And by attuning ourselves to the energies that are present, we align our lives for optimal success. It means we can stop struggling against the grain, stop trying to swim against the current of life. We can actually surf the waves. We can consciously co-create our lives based on the energies that are present. These energies represent tools that we can use if we know how to use them. If we're unaware, if we're unconscious, then we may find that we're struggling and not knowing how to master the game of life. So, utilizing this tool, we can craft the life that we really want, the life that makes us happy, the life that brings fulfillment, the life that brings satisfaction. This truly is the Book of Life, the same book that was persecuted in the Middle Ages, but now has come back to us so that we can see very clearly the blueprint and the template of our life. Now, as in Kabbalah, the ancient Jewish mysticism, there are different energies present each week, and this is the teaching of Kabbalah, and this is connected to Kabbalah. In Kabbalah, they teach that the Torah is composed of 52 portions, and the Zohar, which is the sacred book of Kabbalah, is composed of 52 portions. 52 portions, 52 cards. And the teaching is that each week is a different energy that we have access to, and it's particularly present during that week, so we have an opportunity to download it, receive it, and integrate it into our life. And this week is the energy of the Ace of Clubs. This is the energy that's present this week, or we can turn it around like this. So we are coming out of the suit of hearts. I know there are those of you on the call who have expressed to me that you are ready to be done with the suit of hearts. Last week we were playing the King of Hearts. So that was the energy, this is the symbol of the energy that was present last week. And it could have meant a lot of emotional drama, maybe some debauchery, maybe some like overindulgence, because the King of Hearts loves to indulge. So maybe you had a week of indulgence, or maybe you had a week of emotional challenges where it was challenging for you to put the crown on and lead. Like your emotional intelligence was questioned or tested last week. I know for us, some of you know that we had bed bugs 2 weeks ago, and we thought we got rid of them, and then last week, surprise, they're still there. So then we had to have the exterminator come back, and this time we went for the full-on pesticide treatment. We did the eco-friendly version at first, and it didn't work. So that was a big emotional challenge for us last week to realize, oh, we did not get rid of the bed bugs. So maybe for you, I mean, obviously, I hope it wasn't that you had bed bugs. That was your emotional challenge last week. But I do invite you to reflect for a moment of what challenged you last week. What challenged you to respond in an emotionally intelligent way? And how did you respond? Did you get all worked up emotionally? Did you throw a big fit? You don't have to tell anyone, just mental reflection, self-note. How did you respond emotionally to what life threw at you last week? And how did you put on the crown of your authority to be the emotionally intelligent leader of your own life? Because that's what the King of Hearts last week gave us the opportunity to do, is to be in command of our own life, to chart the course of our own life, right? By taking the lead from our own emotional response so that our emotional response charts the path, right? That's what it would mean. Okay, so now we're into the suit of clubs, and Yerasimos is very excited about that. We are in the suit of the mind. We leap from hearts to clubs. And for those of you who are following the Jewish cycle, we are passing over from the suit of hearts to the suit of clubs. It's very interesting timing. I don't think that that's a coincidence. We are in the Passover week, and in this week we are passing over to a new land, the land of clubs. And in the Christian tradition, we're celebrating from Easter Sunday the rebirth. Here we are. The Ace of Clubs is the first flower, the new birth. The club is a clover, and it is a symbol of a flowering, the flowering of our mind. So following both the Jewish and the Christian tradition, we are into a new suit. We've passed over and we're starting over. We are being reborn in this week, represented by the Ace of Clubs. So what are we being born into? Well, the Ace of Clubs is a symbol of the first light, the first flowering of our minds, of our mental activity. And with the Ace of Clubs energy present, we're going to have opportunities this week to ace an important mental test. And what does that look like? What does it look like to ace a test? Well, one of the things that it does not look like is it doesn't look like overanalyzing and overthinking it. That isn't how we ace a test of the mind. I mean, that can happen. And so I encourage you to be aware of that possibility this week, that there could be some micromanaging, some obsession in your mind about how everything should be perfect. Right? So I encourage you to be mindful of how you might be mentally obsessing, trying to make everything according to your mental expectations, trying to make everyone according to your mental expectations. And we're shifting from the suit of the heart into the suit of the mind. It means that we're moving out of the emotional response, which for some of you might be welcome relief. And for others of you, though, that might have a tinge of sadness, like we're leaving behind this emotional state. So there might be some sentimentality this week of missing the emotional connection or the more heartfelt energy that was present. It could feel like this week is a little bit colder. Right? It's more logical, more rational, not as heart-centered or heart-based. So being in the suit of clubs, we are going to have more on our minds this week. And so that's part of the test of how do we manage all of our mental activities. And it's also Mercury retrograde, Louise is letting us know. And Mercury is the planet of the mind. So that would be another important factor. Again, as I said, we want to be aware that we're not getting mentally obsessive this week, trying to force everything to be how we think it should be. Part of acing the test is being mindful, which is having a witness perspective, being able to detach from the outcomes and not let the outcomes affect our own mental state. That's a big part of how we ace the mental test. But let's focus on the symbolism. Notice how the single club is at the center of the white space. I had a deck printed with no numbers so we can see very clearly the symbolism. It's a single point of energy right in the center of this virgin territory. And this is what is in play this week. How do we bring forth our own idea that's new, that is bringing out something that wasn't there until we thought it? Now, notice too that it's a single dot. So I encourage you not to get distracted by too many different projects this week. It's not a week to multitask. In fact, I encourage you to pick your one objective for the week, the one thing that you want to bring forth, and just focus on that. Get that one thing done, and then your week will be a success, and you will feel mentally satisfied. You will have aced your test. You will have reached your goal. Now that means being very clear about your boundaries too, about what it is you are going to focus on and what you're not focusing on. Of course, it means you still have to maybe do your things throughout the day that you would need to do, but don't take on any unnecessary projects or tasks. And just focus this week on your one objective. So I just invite you for a moment to reflect on what is your singular objective for the week. Mine already popped into my head as I was saying it. So if you have that in mind, just focus on that in your mind's eye right now. What is your one objective that you want to accomplish this week? All right, so you got that in mind? Now, I encourage you to see the completion of that project. See what that looks like in your mind's eye. And commit to taking the action steps to bring that forth. Remember, it's going to be something that grows out of nothing. So maybe you've had a plan for a long time that you've always wanted to create something or bring something out. Maybe you've been procrastinating on something. This is the week to bring it forth. Again, I got something in mind. The moment I think of that, I've been procrastinating on creating the ebook version of my book. And this week I'm going to make it happen. And that means I'm going to have to really carve out the time and the space. Because here's what can happen. With the Ace of Clubs energy present, we may be overwhelmed by the magnitude of the task. And we can turn procrastination into an art form this week. You may think that you don't have the goods to do the project that you really want to do, or you may think that you don't know enough to complete it, to tie it up in a nice ribbon and make it happen. You may think that you need to wait, or you may think that you need more information. You may think that you need someone's help, but this is the week to do something for yourself. This is your own energy. So this is a week to be a little bit selfish. And I know for a lot of us, that's a very challenging topic. For a lot of us, we've been ingrained with the idea from our religious traditions that being selfish is just about the worst thing that we could do. Right? We've learned that we need to focus on other people or make time for other people or do for other people. This is a week for you to focus on your own mental project, to give it your all, and to ace it. Put all your eggs in one basket this week, which again is not typically how we think. We think we need to hedge our bets, scatter our interests, diversify our portfolio. This is the week to ace one important test in your life. And as I started off this teaching saying, we have access to this energy, especially this week. This Ace of Clubs energy is, of course, part of our whole quantum field of energy, and we have access to it for our whole lives. But this week in particular, we have a gateway open, or a portal that's open for us to download this energy and play with it. It's like having this tool at our disposal this week to master something that is a mental idea, a mental project that we want to bring to fruition this week. This is like planting a seed in the soil and then watching it grow. So this is the week to do that and to develop that mastery as a muscle. Hey, Kenny, welcome to the call. So that we can develop that mastery as a muscle in our whole life, right? So I invite you to go to the gym this week of your mind and get in the mental gym of bringing something forth, putting all your effort into that, so that you can build that mastery muscle. And so it's a practice of focusing your mind, putting out distractions, being a little bit selfish, right? I'm going to focus on this that I want to do. It's carving out the time and the space to do it, putting other things on hold, and then giving your whole attention to doing that thing that it is you want to do. And that's what's at stake this week. Being an ace of your own mental project, idea, acing that, realizing that you have what it takes, you already know enough. And this is the week for you to make it happen. Taking a deep breath into that energy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write an affirmation that's coming to me right now, which is, I breathe into my own mastery. Let's type that in there. I breathe into my own mastery. Take a deep breath and breathe that in for yourself, and realize it's that easy, that our mastery is present for us. We just want to activate it. So let's say that together. Take a deep breath. I breathe into my own mastery. I breathe into my own mastery. Let's say that again. I breathe into my own mastery. I'm going to add to that. I now choose to activate my mastery. That's another one. Notice too that mantras are a mental thing that we're doing. Mantra is a way to focus the mind. So especially important in an Ace of Clubs week when we are training to focus our mind. So mantra helps us to focus our mind, which is what we want to learn how to do this week anyway, is to focus our mind. So let's say this affirmation together as well. Take a deep breath. I now choose to activate my mastery. I like that one. Feel that one in my body. I now choose to activate my mastery. I now choose to activate my mastery. Okay. So focusing your mental energy in this way, channeling your mental energy into your singular pursuit and objective and goal that you want to realize in your life this week. And as always, I wish you all good luck mastering the game of your life. Happy Ace of Clubs week, everyone. I'll talk to you all next week. Let me know how your week was. Be curious to know what you mastered this week, what you focused on, and what you accomplished. So perhaps next week we'll take some time for that, so you can come ready to share what it is you focused your mental energy on and what you mastered this week. All right, I'll talk to you all next Monday.